Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, we are talking about a free-to-play deck that is top tier. Genuinely, I do believe that this deck is, quite frankly, very cheap, one, and two, very much so top tier. Salamangreat is by far the best deck of the upcoming format, as well as the current format, as well as any future format, until it gets inevitably hit. And the reason for that is because they basically gave us everything for this deck, and on top of that, a lot of the cards happen to be free to play. However, not all of them. Some of them do require you to go through a box. Most notably, Salamangreat Circle, as well as things like Signet Crosswipe, which just happens to be a good card overall, and, of course, Heatleo is the big boss that is in the main box. Now, with that being said, there is a skill that allows you to play this with just the one Heatleo and with just the one Ningirsu. They both come from the same box, so I figured, hey, we'll include these in here as well as free-to-play options. We're also only playing the one Circle as the other free-to-play option and the Signet Crosswipe, all of which are from the same box. You do not have to go through any other box besides that one in order to get these cards. That being said, I am also playing Malevolent Sin. I feel like so many people have this card as well. You only need the one of it, and it's from a mini box, so you can just pull for it if you need to. And you can also get it from the Dream Ticket as well. So, with all that in mind, this is basically my free-to-play version of the deck, and it's surprisingly good. Now, in most versions of Salamangreat, they are playing multiple back row heavy cards, back row removal, stuff like that. I'm not even playing things like Cosmic Cyclone or Mystical Space Typhoon or what have you. This is all stuff that you can farm up either through level up rewards or through battling Soul Burner. So let's just do the quick card by card. We're playing the one of Gazelle, the 2 Jack Jaguar. Realistically, this could be 3 as well, but I think just having 2 is just about right. I don't know quite if it's more valuable to have the third one, but I do think that it's just kind of like the second best normal summon, and you kind of want other Salamangreat cards to go with it. Plus, you can send it off of a Gazelle if you need to. Next up, we have Triple Foxy. Foxy is an incredible card, and it's just the best normal summon for this deck, at least as a free-to-play deck. And the reason for that is because it allows you to see your other cards, notably things like Foul and Mirror, if you end up needing them. So yeah, there's that. Also, it brings itself back from the grave if need be as well. Next up, we are playing 2 Falco. The reason for this is because it recurs our Roar as well as our Circle, which we will need to do since we're only playing the one Circle. Next up, we have Double Foul. This card is a free special summon if you normal or special summon another one of your Salamangreat cards, so it's very nice to have in here. And then next up, we have one of the most underrated cards, I think, out of the Salamangreat cards, and that is Mirror. This card can discard another Salamangreat card, just any card that includes something like Sanctuary, Circle, or Roar, as well as any of the monsters, to special summon itself. Also, if it is added to the hand except from your normal draw, including if you happen to draw it off of something else, you can add it to your hand and then special summon it. So it's, again, another free special summon, which is very nice. We're playing the one of Monster Reborn. This was a campaign gift, so it's free to play. There you go. I chose this one instead of something like the other free-to-play card, Scrap Iron Scarecrow, that's limited to 1, because I do think that having Monster Reborn allows for more varied lines. We're playing the one Signet Crosswipe, just for extra disruption. It's, again, from the same box as Circle, which we are also playing one of. So you don't even have to go through the box in its entirety. As long as you are able to get your Ningirsu as well as your Heatleo, you can still play this deck and do pretty well. We have the one Salamangreat Sanctuary, which we search off of Balinks. The 2 Econ, everyone should get this. I think you get 2 from the bingo that you get at the start of the game. So yeah, you should definitely have this. This is the best card in the entire deck, and is what won me like every single one of my duels almost. Then we have the one Salamangreat Roar, which is a level up reward, and one Debunk. This is from the card trader. It is a very interesting card, and it works very well in this specific meta. However, the rank that I was playing at didn't play a lot of like Salamangreat and stuff like that. But if you are seeing a lot of Salamangreat, you can play more of this card. Very good overall. As for the extra, I mentioned the Malevolent Sin. This one could be cut for any other rank 4 that you potentially have. This one just happens to be the best one for OTKing in this game, so there you go. Just as long as you have something that's like bigger than 22, you should be okay. And then we have the 1 Ningirsu, the 1 Heatleo, the double Sunlight Wolf, the double Balinx, and the 1 Flame Administrator. Then, in order to gain more access to our powerful boss monsters, we are also adding in another Salamangreat Heatleo from Rise of the Valley of Flames. The only reason for that is so that we can have just an extra deck slot. That's basically it. Link monsters really do need as many extra deck slots as they can get, and yeah, you'll see that here. But yeah, so this is the lineup that I ended up going with, and it did get me to gold. That's all that I have really been able to play recently. But it did do some pretty interesting things. So let's go to the replays and I'll show you how this deck performs. Alright, so here we are going second in our first duel replay here. And if we win it, we gain a rank. Now we are playing against not exactly the greatest of decks, 29 and 2. But as I said, this was played in like gold. But this is just a really interesting combo that I happened to obtain. So I figured, hey, let's show it off. So first things first, we are going to normal summon the Jack Jaguar in order to special summon out the Foul that we drew for a turn. We are then going to activate the Foul effect to negate the back row. However, it is chainable, so they are going to activate their Solemn Wishes, which they had in the back row. So yeah, we ended up sending the Mirror here. We're also then going to be able to special summon out the Gazelle, which we happened to draw for a turn because a card was, or a Salamangreat monster was sent to the graveyard. Salamangreat, yeah, Gazelle sends the Roar, and then we're going to link off into the Balinx. We're then going to activate the Balinx in order to grab up Sanctuary. Then we will link off into the Sunlight Wolf, and then we will activate the Jack Jaguar, putting back the Mirror into the deck to special summon it at link point to the Sunlight Wolf. Sunlight Wolf will then allow us to add back the Gazelle to the hand. Pretty nice. Then we're going to go for the Sanctuary, and we are going to use it to link off into our Sunlight Wolf. We will then activate the Sunlight Wolf's effect in order to grab up our our Salamangreat Roar, and then we're going to activate our Circle in order to grab the Mirror. Mirror will then special summon itself, and we will use the Malevolent Sin with the 2 level 4s that we have on field, the Foul and the Jack Jaguar, in order to banish our opponent's monster. Then we are going to link off into the Heatleo, and we are going to shuffle away their Solemn Wishes as well. This is well over lethal as well. And then we can set the Omni Negate. So yeah, pretty good. I just kind of wanted to show the basic combo. That's ultimately what we're kind of going for if we're going second. So yeah, pretty good. Very much so like it. Now, that previous game, we had a killer hand. So what happens if we don't have such a good hand? Well, you'll see. So my opponent is going to special summon out their Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon, and they're going to set 2. At this point, I basically realized that they're most likely have a, what is it? The Banish card, the Quick Play Banish. But we ended up drawing Econ, which is very, very good for us here. So we're going to go for the Foxy here, and they are going to go for the Photon Burst Stream of Destruction. Or, yeah, something like that. And we're just going to Econ take their monster here. And then we end up revealing, again, the Gazelle. So we're going to then special summon the Gazelle, since a monster was sent to the graveyard, and Gazelle's effect will activate, as well as the Foul. So Foul will special summon itself, as well as we will send the Jack Jaguar. The reason I send the Jack Jaguar is because we have already We've already econned one of their monsters, which means that now what we can do is we can just go for the OTK. So we're going to go and link off into Balinx. Balinx will search out the Sanctuary, and then we will activate the effect of Cynet Crosswipe. I know what you're thinking. Why did you go for the Cynet Crosswipe instead of going for Foul or something like that? And the simple reason is that it destroys the card. So even if we ended up passing turn back, like for example, they have a Kiteroid or something like that in their hand, if we end up passing back to them, we're still able to, you know, get that monster off of the field. Whereas with Foul, it discards a card in order for it to just lock the card on the field. So I think just like getting rid of it entirely is a little bit better. We're then going to special summon the Mirror by pitching the Sanctuary because we don't need the Sanctuary. Then we're going to special summon back the Jack Jaguar in order to... Yeah, we're going to add it back to hand. At this point, we have well over lethal, so I'm just going to proceed to battle, and we're also going to add back to the hand the Salamangreat Gazelle. So yeah, good game. And here we are once again up against another Kite Tenjo, playing, you guessed it, more Photon. However, this is really bad Photon. Unlike the other one, where they're actually using XYZ Galaxy, this one is using Photon something, Galaxy Photon, I think that's what it's called. Anyway, so they're going to go for their Galaxian here. They're going to then activate the Galaxy Photon. And again, we drew Econ. Econ is absolutely a savior in this deck, and it really does shine through here in particular. It's good against Link monsters as well as just in general. Now, this game is actually pretty interesting due to the fact that we can't really beat a 30,000 attack point monster. Like, just this stat line is very difficult for us to get over. We draw the second Jack Jaguar, and I think that going for Foxy here is a little bit better. We know that they are playing the Burst Stream of Destruction, so I kind of have to play around that. I end up grabbing the Mirror here, and I do make a bit of a mistake. So Mirror being added to hand means that it can special summon itself. What I should have done is, instead of special summoning itself, I should have pitched the Jack Jaguar in order to special summon out the Mirror, because then we would have had Jack Jaguar for an extra Link material. But I don't end up doing that, and it should end up costing me. So we're going to go into the Sunlight Wolf here, and then we're going to activate the effect of the Sanctuary. We're going to set to and pass. For some reason, they didn't activate their Photon Stream of Destruction, which means that I can go for the Salamangreat Roar here to negate the effect. Then they are going to proceed to battle. I'm going to Econ take their monster, and they just can't do anything against their own Galaxy Eyes Photon Dragon. Anyway, then I am going to special summon out the Foxy from Grave by pitching the Jack Jaguar that we had in hand, and then I'm going to normal summon the other Jack Jaguar in order to go straight into our Sunlight Wolf. We're going to activate the one of our Jack Jaguars in order to shuffle back the Salamangreat Sunlight Wolf in order to special summon it, which will then add the, I think I added Mirror to hand. And then we're going to link off into our Ningirsu after linking off into a Balinx. We're going to activate the effect of Ningirsu in order to send away the 3,000 attack point monster, which we can't deal with, and pass from there. They're going to go for Photon Orbital, and for some reason, again, they put this guy in defense position, which they could have gotten damage in, but sure, okay. We're going to go for Foxy here, and we reveal the Falco. I guess that's what we're adding to our hand, which is actually really good here, because we can pitch it with the Mirror, and then it can add a card from the grave back to the hand. So we're actually going to be able to add the Roar here, as well as special summon out our Gazelle that we had in hand. So we're going to set the Roar, we're going to pitch the Circle, and then we're going to go into Sunlight Wolf. Sunlight Wolf and Jack Jaguar will do the same little dance that we had previously. We're going to add back the Falco, as well as go into Flame Administrator. Now, at this point, I made a little bit of a mistake, because I forgot that this card just straight up can't be destroyed by battle. So going Flame Administrator here was kind of dumb. I should not have done that. I should have gone Heat Leo here in order to shuffle this card away, and then I could have attacked into both and cleared the field. So yeah, again, another mistake. This deck is really complicated, and it is pretty difficult to understand. So I am making a lot of mistakes throughout these duels, but I mean, that's the point of learning, and I'm very glad that I was able to do this in the lower ranks as well. They're going to go for a second Photon Orbital. Okay, sure. Anyway, we're going to go Jack Jaguar, shuffle back the Gazelle this time, and we're going to go for the Wolf to shuffle back, I believe, a Balinx here. We're then going to special summon out our Foxy, which can then pop a face-up spell trap on the field, so we end up popping one of the Photon Orbitals. Then we're going to set the Circle, as well as Econ take their monster, and I'm going to XZ into a Malevolent Sin. This is why having a rank 4 is so important, because if you Econ take, you can just shove it underneath. Either play a rank 4 or something along those lines, or play something that you can link off your opponent's monster into, just like a generic thing like Brute Enforcer or what have you. But anyway, at this point we have well over lethal, so we are just going to attack and deal lethal damage. Should definitely have lost that game, but we end up winning it. Alright, and here we are against Seto Kaiba, once again going second, and my opponent is actually playing a 20-card deck with two set cards. But once again, this is mostly just to go and show you the power level of the deck, more so like what we can actually end up doing here. So it's not really showing you, hey, this is how good it is against like the top tier stuff. This is just kind of like, here are some combos that we can do. And this one's very funny. So we end up drawing for turn the Foxy, and we are going to end up revealing a Foul, and a Mirror. I'm going to add the Mirror to hand, not activate its effect this time because I learned my lesson, and we're going to pitch the Jack Jaguar, and then link off into a Balinx. We're then going to activate the effect of our Sanctuary, which we happen to draw, L. And then we're going to go into the Sunlight Wolf. We're then going to go for Jack Jaguar and shuffle back the Mirror in order to special summon it. activate the Jack Jaguar, and we will add the Foxy to hand. Then we're going to go for 1 Heatleo. That's right, we're going to go for 1 Heatleo. Heatleo says when it is Link summoned, you can target one of your opponent's spell traps, shuffle it into the deck. There's not a once per turn on that. So we're going to go for the second Heatleo, and we're going to shuffle the other card away. At this point, my opponent realizes that the game is over, and concedes. Now, granted, we did have 2 set cards as well, so yeah, understandable. So overall, as a free-to-play deck, this is still one of the best decks of the format, in all honesty. It's not going to necessarily contend with a lot of those really high power level, high attack stat decks, because it doesn't have a lot of those outs that you can play, like Needle Sealing or Karma Cut or the like, but overall, it still is able to make a pretty decent board, ending on things like the Salamangreat Roar, as well as maybe a Cynet Crosswipe or an Econ, as well as being able to do it consistently. Sure, not having the third circle, or the second and third circle, is really problematic. Not having things like Cynet Mining and the like really does suck, but overall, the deck still is able to get to those higher ranks with just some of these basic cards, due to the fact that a lot of the important cards, notably things like Gazelle, the Sunlight Wolf, the Balinks, and the like, are all free to play. You can entirely not spend a single gem and still see all of these cards. So all in all, I'm really excited for this deck. I think that it is super fun. However, do be aware of the timer. If you do not play this deck quickly, you will be susceptible to that timer, so keep that in mind. Anyway, that's going to be it for this stream, or this episode. I hope that you guys do indeed enjoy. If you did, like us very much, so appreciate it. And if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh!, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye. Shout out to the Frost Guard, my members. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you enjoy the content.